The following video will demonstrate how to correctly retain Waitron tips with the intention of paying out these tips at a later stage. Many businesses may choose to operate cashless, or you may find yourself in a situation where a waiter has generated more cash tips than cash tender received. In this instance, you can retain these tips received and pay the waiter when it suits your business best. Waitrons should be trained and strongly encouraged to tender their bills correctly so they can declare all tips in Pilot and reflect tips received accurately. Let's open a table in Pilot POS and ring up an order. Now tender the bill. When selecting a tender type and entering a tender amount, tendering more than the bill amount, the system will see this difference between the bill amount and the tendered amount as a tip. In most cases, this will be non-cash tender being recorded in this manner. However, if you do tender cash and you need to return change to the client, enter the total received, select Give Change, and the system will reflect the excess value as change. This change value will not be added to any tip value being recorded. If the waiter then receives a cash tip, record it by clicking Enter here, then selecting Cash as the tender again and enter the tip received. Now close the bill by clicking Tender and Close. When cashing up the waiter at the end of the shift, the declared tips will all combine to reflect a total tips here under the Retained Tips field. Currently, this is our cash due amount. When we confirm and enter the retained tip value in the yellow box, we can see that our cash due amount increases. In other words, the waiter's tips will be included in cash to return to the business so that you can pay them out at a later point. If you do not confirm this tip total and leave this field blank, no tips will be retained and thus no tips will be recorded. Ensure you check which cash up this waiter's cash up affects before moving on to the end of service cash up. Any tips recorded can be viewed on our waiter cash up report under the retained tip column. Let's now view how tip retention affects our end of day cash up. In Pilot Admin, select Cash Up. Ensure you select the correct cash up to close down. All retained tips confirmed will total and reflect here, and will also reflect on the cash up summary. Now lastly, let's discuss how we will manage and repay these retained tips. Open the Waiter Commission report in Pilot Admin. Select the period button and select the date range applicable, then click OK. You can then select Print and choose to print the detail per waiter option. Here you can view the total retained tips for each waiter so you are certain what to pay out to each of them. This report is also available to be viewed from Pilot Live. Before continuing to log this payout through the system, we need to ensure we are set up in Admin to receive these payouts. When selecting Category, ensure you have created a category for your waiter tips retention. Select New and complete the category details. We can call this Retained Waiter Tips and enter code X and cost center null. By specifically linking this category to code X, we ensure this will not affect our income statement, since the system will not view it as direct costs or expenses like when we select D or E codes. We also need to check our master file and ensure we have a master file item called Waiter Tips Retained, so we can complete a cash purchase later when our payment has been made. If we are paying the waiters cash from the business or float from the cash drawer, ensure we create a cash payout in Pilot POS, then complete a cash purchase in Pilot Admin to match the payout. If these are all in place, you will then be able to report at any point on tips paid by viewing your cash payout reports and cash purchase reports and selecting the applicable date range.